Welcome back to the Ed Show, and thanks for watching tonight. Time is flying by. We're now less than a month away from a crucial election. Progressives are working hard to keep the Democratic majority in power. But in Congress, the minority is ruling, I think. 41 Republicans in the Senate are holding change and jobs flat out hostage. According to The Hill, 420 bills passed by the House are just sitting around collecting dust over in the Senate because the Republican obstruction is there saying no, no, no. In the month of September, Congress was in session. 48 of them were put on the shelf. Republicans are playing hardball politics with your lives and our jobs, and I find it flat out un-American. For more, let's bring in Michigan Senator Debbie Stabenow. Her state has suffered one of the highest unemployment rates in the nation. Senator, good to have you with us. And the real question I think that the Democrats are banking on here, the answer is, do the voters understand what obstruction is? Are they schooled up? Are they schooled up enough about the minutia to understand exactly what the party of no is doing?
Well, Ed, you raise a very good point. And I think the strategy from the very beginning is very clear. It's been public that the Senate Republican leader, even before the president was sworn in, decided that the president ran on a platform of change. And if they stopped any change from happening in people's lives, that somehow they would benefit from that we will have failed. Now, the reality is we've gotten things done anyway. And we've gotten the Recovery Act. We've got the Small Business Bill and so on. But it's been painfully slow. And as you've said, we now have some 400 different pieces of legislation, many of them directly related to jobs, that are being held up. And so the question is, how do we communicate that so that people understand who's been trying to move the country forward, moving it forward slowly, but who's been trying to move it forward and who's trying to move it back.
But that really is the key for the Democrats now, to make the American people understand what obstruction is, how many bills are passed in the House, how many have been held up in the Senate, and who are you going to hold accountable for it? That's really what this is about at this point for the Democrats, isn't it? Do the voters get it, in your opinion?
It is. Well, Ed, let me just give you two examples of that. You were talking earlier about the influence of foreign money coming into the country, which is extremely concerning to me. Well, we're trying to stop jobs being outsourced. I mean, in my judgment, we export products, not jobs. That's what we ought to fight for in America. And the Republicans stop a bill that would close loopholes that are sending jobs overseas, and then they've got help from foreign money coming in to defeat our candidates who are fighting for middle-class workers and people who have lost their jobs. The Small Business Bill, in the end, we worked on that for about a year. We finally got that done, and two courageous Republicans joined us to stop a filibuster, but we haven't seen the full impact of those small business loans and tax cuts as we would have if it had been passed a year ago.
Senator,
that's what this is about.
I got to ask you, why do you think white working voters are turning against the Democrats? I mean, the latest poll that's out there shows that the working class American white voters, they're peeling off of President Obama. We're going to talk about this more in the show later tonight, but I want your opinion on this.
Ed, people are hurting. They are legitimately fearful. Their house is underwater. Their job may be underwater. If they have a job, or they may be getting paid less. So at this point in time, people are rightly fearful. And the Republicans, with huge amounts of money, have been redirecting them away from the folks causing it, away from the folks who believe that, the best policy is to give to the very, very rich and then hope that it trickles down. And folks in Michigan are still waiting for it to trickle down, by the way.
Senator, great to have you with us tonight.
They're redirecting that.
I want to thank you.
It's good to be with you.
I want to thank you for the work. You held your word to me. You took unemployment benefits to the floor, trying to help the 99ers. And again, as we were just talking about obstruction, it was the Republicans. Lemieux from Florida, who has nothing to lose, was the obstructor. He was appointed by the Republicans to do it. You held your word. I appreciate it. And thanks for your time tonight.